Hi, this is Daniel DiTuro. In Good Carbs, Bad Carbs Part 1, I looked at what is a carbohydrate, why you need carbohydrates, the type of carbohydrates, and the effects of eating too many refined carbohydrates. In Part 2, I reviewed carbohydrates and refined sugars, carbohydrates and diabetes, beverage and meal carbs, and good carbs versus bad carbs. We are all born to like sweet foods. It's hardwired into our brain. Thousands of years ago, sweet meant ripe fruits, berries, and honey. Less than 300 years ago, only the European aristocracy could afford refined sugar. It's been less than 200 years since most Europeans and Americans could afford refined sugar. Today, Americans average 150 grams of added sugar per day. That's equivalent to one 10-pound bag of sugar per month. 60% of Americans are now classified as overweight or obese. Eating and drinking too many refined carbohydrates is one contributing factor. A diet high in refined carbohydrates and being overweight increases the risk of diabetes. Being diabetic means your blood glucose level is high enough to put you at risk for serious disabling diseases. Ideally, your fasting blood glucose level should be between 60 to 100 milligrams per deciliter. Measured when you're not fasting, it should be less than 180 milligrams per deciliter. Beverages are a major source of refined sugar. Most begin or have water as its major ingredient. Water has 0 calories, 0 carbs, is virtually sodium-free, and provides some trace minerals. Use water to make coffee or tea, and you have a low-calorie beverage with only a few calories from oils in tea leaves and coffee beans. Every teaspoon of sugar added to coffee or tea adds 16 calories of pure carbohydrates. The sugar sucrose is 50% fructose and 50% glucose. Coffee or tea with cream and no sugar adds 40 calories of fat and protein and 0 carbohydrates. Unlike cream, every tablespoon of milk added to coffee or tea adds carbohydrates, fats, and protein. 24% of the calories in a tablespoon of milk is from sugar. By comparison, 8 ounces of a chilled or iced coffee can have 8 to 10 teaspoons of sugar. Water fortified with vitamins and electrolytes can also be high in sugar, usually in the form of less expensive high fructose corn syrup. High fructose corn syrup, equivalent to 5 teaspoons of sugar, is used to sweeten 6 ounces of cola and other soft drinks. This sweetened tea has 17 grams of sugar per 8-ounce serving and 16 servings per container, equaling 272 grams of sugar, or about 1 1/3 cups of sugar. When I make 1 gallon of sun tea, I add about 50 grams of sugar. A 16-ounce serving has about 24 calories and 6 grams of sugar. Most homemade beverages have significantly less sugar. You can easily cut hundreds of carb calories from your diet by reducing or eliminating sugar-sweetened beverages. When it comes to alcoholic beverages, about 10% of the calories from beer and wine are from carbs. Distilled alcoholic beverages have virtually 0 carbs and sugar. But mixed drinks can have anywhere from 6 to 60 grams of sugar. You can reduce sugar carbohydrates by replacing prepared beverages with homemade beverages. And some mixed drinks can provide as much or more sugar than sugar-sweetened beverages. Breakfast can be high carb or low carb. Some prepared breakfast foods are high in refined carbs, both flour and sugar. On a visit to Italy, my breakfast consisted of a chocolate croissant and cappuccino. It's called a continental breakfast that some would label as bad carbs. Many American hotels offer a continental breakfast, But is it truly bad carbs? It depends on your body and what you do with the carbs. After breakfast, I went on a 2-mile hike of a nearby grotto, burning about 400 calories in 60 minutes. That's different than lounging by the pool, burning about 120 calories in 60 minutes. Many carbohydrate-rich foods provide 3 types of carbs: fiber, sugar, and starch. These 4 samples, typically eaten for breakfast, show how the quantity of carbs can vary from as little as 16 grams for the home-cooked breakfast to 76 grams for the toaster pastries. The glazed donut and muffin sandwich each have 29 grams of carbs and about the same number of calories, but there's a significant difference in the amount of sugar. Sugars are metabolized and enter the bloodstream faster than starches. While most chain restaurants offer nutrition information, the information may be misleading. This menu item, as shown, has 900 calories and 97 grams of carbohydrates without syrup. Most Americans eat their pancakes or waffles with syrup, and 4 tablespoons of syrup adds 200 calories and 40 grams of carbohydrates, all sugar carbohydrates. Starting your day with this breakfast and limiting the amount of syrup to 1/4 cup provides 1,100 calories, 137 grams of carbohydrates, and 60 grams of added sugar. Current U.S. guidelines recommend limiting added sugar to 24 grams per day for women and 36 grams per day for men. Some takeaways are: prepared foods can be high-carb foods. Use your activity level to determine what carbs are right for you, and beware that restaurant nutrition information can be incomplete or misleading. Lunch is when starch carbs tend to displace sugar carbs. This lunch provides 5 different sources of carbs: batter fried onion rings, fried potatoes, tomato ketchup, a sandwich roll, and onions, bell peppers, and cheese in the sandwich. If that's not enough carbs, many restaurants, American and ethnic, complimentary all-you-can-eat forms of wheat bread and corn tortillas. This chicken sandwich provides 3 forms of carbs: starch carbs for the roll, and starch, sugar, and fiber carbs for the vegetables. The roll has 38 grams of carbohydrates, providing over 60% of this sandwich's calories. All vegetables combined provide about 3 grams of carbohydrates and 14 calories. Sandwiches are a major source of carbs, calories, and sodium. Vegetables are over 80% water and extremely low in calories, but most restaurants turn low-calorie vegetables into high-calorie side dishes like fried potatoes and breaded and fried zucchini. A 5-ounce serving of this breaded, deep-fried zucchini without dressing has 330 calories. 5 ounces of raw zucchini has 24 calories. Is this an example of a good carb turned into a bad carb? Again, it depends on you and your diet. You can get 330 calories from 5 ounces of food, or you can get the same number of calories from 9 ounces of food. One is fast and convenient, while the other requires a little effort. Some takeaways are: carbs are calories. Restaurant meals can provide more calories than you need. Cut calories by reducing or eliminating complimentary breads and chips. Dinner carbs are similar to lunch carbs. You can be offered complimentary unlimited bread providing hundreds of calories before your meal. And you can easily turn a low-calorie entree of complex carbohydrates, proteins, and fat by saving room for one of those delicious high-carb desserts that can easily add 1,000 calories to your meal. In fact, desserts and snacks is another way of adding hundreds of unnecessary calories to your diet. For the American diet, dessert usually means cakes, pies, and pastries, whereas Italians, who start their day with a high-carb breakfast, end their meal with a dessert of fresh fruits and nuts. Americans are also bombarded by refined carbohydrate-rich snacks masquerading as health foods. This snack bar's 9 grams of protein comes with 11 grams of sugar. This bar's 10 grams of protein comes with 15 grams of sugar. You can get 10 grams of protein by eating 2 ounces of deli turkey with 0 grams of sugar. Cutting 50 grams of added sugar from your diet will save you 200 calories per day. 50 grams of sugar equals 1 12-ounce soda or 3 small cookies. Some diet plans advocate replacing refined carbs with protein. Replacing 100 grams of carbs with 100 grams of protein will save you about 80 calories. It takes about 10 calories to digest 100 calories of carbohydrates, but it takes about 30 calories to digest 100 calories of protein. That leaves 360 carb calories for energy, but only 280 protein calories for energy. What happens when you replace carbs, especially refined carbs, with fats? Replacing 100 grams of carbohydrates with 100 grams of fat adds about 450 calories. It takes about 10 calories to digest every 100 calories of carbs and fats. But fats have more than twice the calorie of carbs. Even replacing 100 grams of carbs with 50 grams of fat adds about 45 calories. Is an occasional sugar-sweetened drink bad for you? Is an occasional slice of cake or pie bad for you? Are breads, pasta, or pizza eaten in moderation bad for you? There's no simple answer. Both of these meals have carbs that some people consider bad. One is a prepared frozen entree providing about 13 ounces of food, compared to a homemade meal providing over 20 ounces of food. The frozen entree has 41 grams of carbohydrates, while the homemade meal has 57 grams of carbohydrates, but it has less carbohydrates per ounce. The frozen entree provides 30 grams of protein, and the home-cooked meal 42 grams of protein. Both meals provide 500 calories. Does that make the frozen fettuccine bad carbs and the home-cooked meal good carbs? Your diet is not made of one meal. You must let your body and your health be your guide. Is your weight, blood pressure, and blood glucose normal? Are you gaining weight? Do you have a family history of diabetes or heart disease? Do you have a vitamin or mineral deficiency? These are just a few of the questions you need to answer to adapt your diet to your needs. Carbohydrates are an essential part of everyone's diet. Healthy carbs are minimally processed carbs. Healthy carbs are high-fiber foods. They provide vitamins, minerals, micronutrients not available from fats and protein. Please leave a comment if you have any questions about this video. Thank you for watching and healthy eating.